Hi, this is the video for Unit 5, Homework 2, Graphing Systems of Equations. Be sure to put your first and last name and what period you have math at the top of the page. Alright, number 1 says, graph the system of equations. Describe where the solution is found on the graph and give the coordinates. These are both y equals mx plus b equations, so we know that b is our y-intercept and m is our slope. The first one, y equals 3x plus 6. Plus 6 is our y-intercept. Well, we have to go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is actually going to be one above our existing graph, about right there. Let's make that in red so we can see it. About right there. And we have a slope of 3, so that's 3 over 1, an increase of 3 over 1. So, since I'm already above my graph, I have to go backwards. I have to go down 3 and back 1. Down 3, back 1. So, my line looks something like this. That is y equals negative x plus 2. Where do these two lines intersect? Because that is our solution. Right here. If we look, we can see that where x is negative 1 and y is 3, that is our solution. Where both of these are true. You have to do the same thing for 2, but 2 is a little trickier, and I'll tell you why. The equations are not in the y equals mx plus b form, and you have to put them in there first to tell where you need to put your line. So for instance, x plus 2y equals 10. That's this one right here. I subtract x from each side, and I get 2y equals negative x plus 10. I divide everything by 2, and I get y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 5. That's 1. Here's my other one. 3x minus y equals 12. I subtract 3x from each side. I get negative y equals negative 3x plus 12. I divide everything by negative 1, and I get y equals 3x minus 12. Here is one equation. Here is the other equation, which I have to graph and explain why we can only estimate the solution. What could they possibly be talking about there? Well, let's try our blue line first. Positive 5 is where I start, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right there. Negative 1/2 is my slope, so I'll go down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Here we go. That's our first line. Our second line says y equals 3x minus 12. So Minus 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What do you know? It's right there. 3x means up 3 over 1. 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 Here's my line. But I can already see why they have suggested I can only estimate. Where these two lines cross is not an exact intersection of x and y. It's between the lines, so you kind of have to estimate. It's not quite 5. I'd say it's about 1, 2, 3, 4.8 for x. And y, it's not quite 3. I'd say it's about 2.8. Something like that. Write your answers down and explain that you only have to estimate because you don't know the exact intersection. All right, number 3 says a turbo taxi charges a $30 fee and $5 per mile. Yellow taxi charges no fee and $10.10 per mile. Write an equation that models the cost of each taxi company and describe what each part of the equation represents. So turbo taxi starts with a $30 fee. That's our y-intercept, or b. So it's going to be plus 30. So what is our slope? It says a $30 fee and a 5 per mile charge. So it's 5x plus 30. How about yellow taxi? It says there's no fee. My b or y-intercept is 0. And that it's $10.10 per mile. So it's y equals 10.10x. We could write plus 0, but we don't. Then it asks in the equations above, x represents what? If $5 is the charge per mile, x must represent the miles. And y represents our total. The slope is going to represent what? How much it costs per mile. And the y-intercept represents any sort of starting fee. It says make a table for each equation and then describe when the TurboTax deal is the better deal, and when the yellow taxi is the better deal, and explain how you justify your reasoning. So just to set up this, you're going to do something like this. Here's turbo. X and Y. For TurboTax, when X is 0, Y is 30, right? Because that's our starting fee. When X is 1, Y goes up to 35, and so forth. For 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For yellow taxi, we're going to do the same thing. Well, if you recall, at 0 miles, there's no charge for yellow taxi. However, at 1 mile, I'm up to $10.10, etc. 2 miles, $20.20. I'm going to do 3, 4, not much of a 4 there, huh? 5, 6, 7, 8. Offhand, I would say yellow is better, certainly at 1 mile, because I've only spent $10.10 as opposed to $35 for TurboTaxi. But I gather TurboTaxi at some point becomes a better deal because it says it does. When? Write down those answers, and you'll get that. So, number 4 is more work on word symbols. It says 4 less than the product of a number and 5 is 8 more than twice the number. So let's figure this out. 4 less than the product of a number and 5. The product of a number and 5 is 5x. 4 less is minus 4, and it says is, that means it equals 8 more than twice the number, 2x plus 8. Solve that for x, and you'll be on the right path. All right, let's go to page 2. On 5, it says, find the equation for the line that goes through negative 1, 5, and negative 4, negative 16. You should be able to do this. If you don't know how to do it, get help. Remember, set up your equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to get your slope, and plug in 0 for x to find out what your y-intercept is. Alright, number 6. A rectangle has a perimeter of 30 inches. The length of one less than 3 times the width. Write a let statement to define the variables, and then find the length and the width of the rectangle, and verify that your answer makes sense. Well, I'll give you a start on this one. How about we're going to say let W equal the width in inches. Remember, we have to have units. So as W is the width, the length is 3 times the width minus 1. So length equals 3W minus 1. So we know that W plus W, one width plus the other one, plus 3W minus 1 plus 3W minus 1, there's my 2 lengths, is equal to 30. I'll let you solve that. Number 7 says, solve for x and verify that your answer is correct. This is a review from our distributive property unit. What is 2 times x minus 2? And what is negative 1 times x plus 7? Remember, you're taking this 2 and you multiply times x and then times negative 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And it equals negative 1 times x That's negative x. Negative 1 times 7. That's negative 7. Solve for x, and then verify that the number you came up is correct by plugging it back into your original equation. Okay, number 8. It says, graph x plus y equals 3 on the coordinate plane over domain of negative 7 to 10. And use a colored pencil and ruler to draw the line. Well, you don't really need to do that. But if we do have an equation, x plus y equals 3, we have to put it in y equals mx plus b form. We subtract x, and we get y equals negative x plus 3. That is our equation, so 1, 2, 3. There's our y-intercept. Negative x is our slope, so down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, etc., etc., etc. There's your line. So just multiply each term in the equation by a number and then write your new equation here. Just multiply each term in the equation by a number and write your equation there. And then, using a different colored pencil, and really this is necessary if you're at home and you only have one colored pencil, don't worry about it. Graph the new equation on the same coordinate plane above and over the same domain. The domain that we used was negative 7. Right here, negative 7. Negative 7, again, right up here, 10 down here, and graph your new equation, come up with, because of that domain, which again is the x values, and you'll do just fine. Okay. Number 9 is review. And it says, fill in the missing numbers in the boxes below. The pattern used is shown to the right, which is basically x and y to the left and right are added for the bottom number, and then multiplied for the top number. So what two numbers for the first one added together equal 9 and multiplied together equal 20? The way I do this is I do the factors of 20. You can see what I've written here. 1 and 20. 1 times 20 is 20, but of course 1 plus 20 is not 9. 2 and 10. Again, 2 times 10 is 20, but 2 plus 10 is not 9. 4 and 5, bingo. 4 times 5 is 20, and also 4 plus 5 is 20, so you'd fill those in there to the left and right for x and y, and then go on to the next one. If you have any other questions, please see your teacher. Remember, there are tutors in the library before and after school that are available to help you. I wish you good luck, and we'll see you on homework 3.